Anthony Edwards delivers a little something extra.
Not all heroes wear capes. What if the most unpredictable, unstoppable force in the universe wasn't from a comic book, but from Atlanta, Georgia? For years, the NBA has been obsessed with one question: who's next? We've been scanning the horizon for a generational talent to bend the league to his will. But what if I told you that while we were looking off into the distance, the hero we were waiting for was already here, hiding in plain sight, just like Ant-Man?
Somebody peed my pants.
Oh, thank God.
The debate is over. The search has ended. The future is now, because Anthony Edwards isn't the future of the NBA. He is the present. We often use the nickname Ant-Man as a fun descriptor, but it's become the perfect metaphor for his game. One moment, he seems contained, and the next, he activates his power, growing into an unstoppable giant who warps the entire landscape around him. His mind-blowing 2024-25 season wasn't just a leap, it was a hostile takeover of epic proportions. He didn't just knock on the door of superstardom, he kicked it clean off its hinges. So, how did one player so thoroughly impose his will on the league? It's the terrifying fact that he has evolved into a lethal problem from every spot on the hardwood, a threat that shape-shifts depending on what the defense gives him. Like the actual Ant-Man, whose power is unpredictably big or small, Edwards' offensive genius lies in his versatility. He has become a true three-level scoring nightmare, and no one in the NBA seems to have the instruction manual. If you need a single example of this offensive cataclysm, look no further than January 4th, 2025. On that night, Anthony Edwards didn't just have a career high, he put the league on notice with a 53-point explosion that felt like a seismic event. This wasn't a fluke, it was a methodical dismantling of a high-level defense, where he showed off every tool in his arsenal. He went full giant man, and everyone was powerless to stop the onslaught. First, you have a relentless attack at the rim. This has always been his bread and butter. He's built like a Pro Bowl running back, but explodes like an Olympic sprinter. When he decides he's going downhill, it's not a question of if he'll get to the basket, but who will be brave enough to make a business decision and get out of the way. He craves contact, absorbing it with his powerful frame and finishing through it with astonishing body control. All season, we saw him execute powerful drives that sent defenders scattering like bowling pins, alongside acrobatic layups in traffic that left commentators speechless. It's like he shrinks through the cracks, only to grow to full size for a thunderous finish. But what has truly elevated him from a great scorer to an unstoppable one is the quantum leap in his mid-range game. Just a few years ago, the scouting report was to force him into a tough pull-up jumper. Today, that very same strategy is a death sentence. That scouting report is now officially a collector's item, filed under really bad ideas, or he gets to his spots with a dizzying array of nasty crossovers and hesitations. His pull-up jumper is now pure silk. If a big man drops back to protect the rim, he'll calmly drain a 15-footer. If a smaller defender gets up on him, he'll use his strength to create space and rise up for a feathery fadeaway. What used to be a calculated weakness is now the precise tool he uses to break a team's spirit. And then, just when you think you've somehow survived his interior and mid-range assault, you have to contend with the dagger, the three-point shot. In that legendary 53-point explosion, he hit a staggering 10 threes, a barrage that left the other team utterly defeated. And these aren't simple spot-up shots. We're talking about clutch, self-created step-back threes with a hand right in his face. It's the kind of demoralizing shot-making that makes the defense completely give up. His season stats tell the whole story. 27.6 points per game, good for fourth in the league. This isn't a hot streak, it's the new standard he has set. He's not just an explosive athlete anymore. He's a stone-cold offensive genius with a super suit full of weapons. His scoring, of course, remained elite. He consistently poured in points against schemes specifically designed to stop him. But it was the other columns on the stat sheet that tell the real story of his growth. His rebounds jumped to almost 8 per game, and his assists climbed to a remarkable 5.5. That's the sign of a superstar who recognizes what his team needs to win and simply goes out and does it. Specific moments came to define his legendary playoff run, showcasing his soaring basketball IQ. One night, he's battling ferociously with opposing big men for 14 rebounds, and the next, he's a masterful conductor, dropping 12 assists, seamlessly switching his role from elite scorer to primary playmaker. He's no longer just playing his position. He's playing chess on a hardwood court, thinking 3 moves ahead of everyone else. That is the monumental jump from an all-star to a true franchise cornerstone. It's one thing to get your own shot in a big moment. It's another thing entirely to have the calm and court vision to make the right play for your team, over and over again when the season is hanging in the balance. In these playoffs, he wasn't just a scorer, he was a leader in every sense of the word. He guarded the other team's best player. He led the huddles during timeouts, and he carried the weight of a franchise on his broad shoulders and made it look easy. Talent wins games, but charisma and leadership build a culture that lasts. And that is where Anthony Edwards operates on another level. For a long time, the accepted superstar archetype was the intense general, a leader in the mold of a Michael Jordan or a Kobe Bryant. Ant is showing the world there's a new way to be the alpha, one that relies less on fear and more on good vibes. He said it himself. He's not interested in yelling at his teammates. He understands that modern leadership requires emotional intelligence. He has an innate feel for his locker room, knowing instinctively when to challenge a teammate and when to end a helping hand. This isn't just empty talk. Respected veterans like Mike Conley have publicly stated that they look to him, a much younger player, to lead them. After the franchise-altering trade of Karl Anthony Towns, a move that signaled a seismic shift, the torch was officially passed. Ant didn't just accept it, he grabbed it with both hands. The front office basically gave him the keys to the franchise, the Wi-Fi password, and the remote control. He became the team's clear vocal and emotional leader, a responsibility that would crush lesser players but only seemed to fuel him. He leads by example, most notably by allowing himself to be coached hard, which sets the tone for the entire roster. And then there's his off-the-charts charisma. His press conferences have become can't-miss events, a brilliant mix of brutal honesty, surprising insight, and accidental comedy genius. They're basically the NBA's version of a must-see stand-up special. That raw authenticity is precisely why fans are drawn to him and why players across the league respect him. He doesn't shy away from the spotlight. He lives in it, comfortable in his own skin. This unique mixture of elite skill, unapologetic swagger, and emotionally intelligent leadership is the whole package. Interestingly, Edwards consistently dodges the face of the league conversation. He deflects the praise, saying he just wants to play ball and go to the crib. But that statement isn't a sign of a lack of ambition. It's the ultimate sign of how locked in he is. He doesn't care about external labels. He cares about winning. That relentless singular focus is exactly why he's so perfect for the job, whether he wants it or not. Even LeBron James himself said he understands why Ant feels that way, acknowledging the immense pressure that comes with the title. But you don't choose to be the face of the league. You earn it through his electrifying play style, his emerging leadership, and his sheer impact on the game and its culture. Anthony Edwards has earned it. He's the player that kids are emulating in their backyards. He's the guy whose highlights dominate your social media timeline. He has become the standard. The verdict is in and the case is closed. The 2024-25 season wasn't the start of the Anthony Edwards era. It was its definitive, earth-shattering confirmation. We watched him transition from a rising star to a full-blown supernova, a player who can beat you with scoring, defense, playmaking, or just his pure, indomitable will. He put up MVP-level stats that placed him among the league's absolute elite. He delivered a signature 53-point performance that fans will be watching for years. He leveled up his entire game in the playoffs, proving he's built for the biggest moments. And most importantly, he became the true, undisputed leader of his team, mixing old-school fire with new-school charisma. The Ant-Man takeover isn't a prediction. It's not a hot take. We are living in it right now. The rest of the NBA is officially on notice. The question is no longer if Anthony Edwards will win an MVP award, but when. What was your favorite Ant-Man moment from this historic season? Was it the 53-point game, a posterizing playoff dunk, or one of his funny interviews? Let me know in the comments. And if you want more breakdowns of the players taking over the league, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss a thing. Thanks for watching.